The following program does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good afternoon and welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts Fred and Janet Cox right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board right now, send us an email. Our email address is liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of the Liquid Green Health Show, Fred and Janet Cox.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's another Sunday afternoon, and yes, we are happy to be here. And so we want to say good afternoon to all our friends and relatives and listeners and viewers. A warm welcome and greetings to all of you across Canada, the United States, and around the world. We are the Coxes, and your invitation into your personal space is really, really appreciated. Want to say anything?
I've listened to you say this every single week.
No comments.
I think, shouldn't it be our invitation into your personal space is much appreciated. Isn't that what we should say?
It's your invitation into your personal space.
They're
inviting us into their personal space.
Okay, I'm thinking we're asking them to invite us into their personal space.
No.
Okay, so you've been right all along?
All the time.
Okay, you're usually right?
Ask them.
Well, yeah, somebody should comment. Okay,
Every Sunday at this hour, folks, we commit to providing information in engaging and edutainment format. And hopefully it will guide you towards a healthier lifestyle. So once again, thank you for being an integral part of this enriching journey with us. Feel free to keep those emails coming in. Send it to liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com and let us know where you are listening from. We got an email that came in, and let me see if I could find this one quickly.
In the meantime, while you're trying to find your email, it's been an interesting week. TikTok on the news, right?
Poor TikTok.
So we'll see how the dust settles on.
I hope they don't go through with it. I really hope.
We will see.
Anyway, we got an email from someone. I got it here. Andy. Andy says, Liquid Green is the best health show on radio. And you can quote me on that.
And you can quote me on that. Andy, listening from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Yay!
You have on
Winnipeg.
You have on your teacher's hat this evening, right? So I'll give you that one.
Yes.
We have an interesting show today, folks. We have a wonderful guest. And, it's springtime. Well, it's almost springtime. It's been feeling like that, some days.
Winter has been half spring, half winter. This has been the best year in Canada for winter. In my opinion, unless you own a ski chalet or something.
Yeah, for some reason, Mother Nature is not quite sure what it wants to do. But as spring approaches and indoor activities become more exciting, and as they're all saying, global warming is on its way. There's enough evidence for that. It's easy to overlook the importance of foot care. Our feet often bear the brunt of our active lifestyles, yet they are often the last thing on our minds when it comes to health maintenance. It is essential to recognize that proper foot care isn't just about preventing discomfort. It's about safeguarding our overall well-being. From regular foot examinations to gentle cleansing, and wearing appropriate footwear. Those are all important. Every aspect of foot care plays a crucial role in maintaining healthy, happy feet. And our guest this afternoon is Guyanese Born Ingrid Bollers. She's a registered nurse. She's been a registered nurse, and she has over 40 years of experience. That's 4 decades, folks.
Yep.
Older than you, much longer than you, all right? 40 years of experience. And so what we'll do today is to let her take us through the world of foot care. So let's kick off her shoes, wiggle her toes, and embark on a fantastic odyssey through the enhanced realm of foot care, where every callus is a battle scar and every blister is a badge of honor. After all, in this grand performance of life, our feet deserves a standing
ovation. I love the play on words when we wrote that. That's like
so. Puns in without much ado, I'm going to let you do.
Yes, Ingrid, welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show. And I hope you have sent this out to all our friends. We have a lot of mutual friends. We sent it out to quite a few. And we have, as Frederick said earlier, we do have an international audience, most being from the US and Canada. And, you know, we get so many emails about the type of shows, the type of topics that we bring on. And when we thought of, we've talked about so many different parts of the body, right? And we've never addressed our feet. And that is just to show. And this is our 3rd year, and we've never talked about the foot. Except, do you remember Honorable Alvin Curlin?
Yeah, that was the only time that it's mentioned, yeah.
Honorable Alvin Curlin said he massages his feet every single morning for 15 to 20 minutes. No wonder the man looks so fantastic. You know? Anyway, Ingrid, welcome again. And you have been my friend. How long now? Probably 4 or 5 years?
About 5 years, Janet.
About 5 years, yes. And I know you sent us a bio and it was very short. That means you're so modest. And I know that you're passionate about nursing. You've worked in all areas of nursing. And I'm just going to ask you to share a little bit more with our listening audience about you and your career in nursing. Just give us a couple of minutes of that.
Thank you very much, Janet and Fred. Thanks for having me on the Liquid Green Show this evening. I'm really honored. You have been my friends for a long time. But more than I am honored to be on this show. Now, how long have I been a nurse? I don't look it, but I'm 63 years old. And I have been a nurse for 43 of those 63 years old. Started in
You started at 20.
Right, at 20, I was already a nurse midwife. And then I migrated to Canada, where I had to redo my nursing, of course. At George Brown College, ended up at Ryerson, have done all the 8 specialties in nursing. I have exhausted all of the areas in nursing. You name it, and I have worked in it. But my passion out of all the 8 areas of nursing has been in labor and delivery, and later on in the senior community. And that's where I love to be, working with the seniors. So I switched out of the hospital setting when I was around 52 years old. And I've been in long-term care, working with the senior population in the long-term care as well as in the community.
Correct. And we do something together, because when we started Ebony Care Senior Home, it's a cooperative, and you are the president of that organization, because we know we had another president, and I'll just share this very quickly with our audience. We had a president who was also in nursing, and unfortunately, she passed away through a very severe accident where the house was burnt down by her son, who actually suffered from mental illness. He was never charged because mental illness in the community is rampant, right? So we were extremely happy that you decided to take over that position. And right now we're working to rebuild Ebony Care Cooperative, which is going to be a fantastic agency and eventually home for
Correct.
people, seniors, that they can be treated with, you know, a little bit love and tenderness and some TLC in terms of culturally, like to culturally represent, right? Which is something that's needed so much in Toronto. So thank you again. And
Absolutely.
okay. So we're going to dive right in because, you know, Ingrid, this time is going to go so quickly. 1 hour of the Liquid Green Health Show lasts about 22 minutes. Now I know they name that show 22 minutes, right? Anyway, so what would you say is the most critical area problems that you see when people come to you with foot care?
Well, I've been a diabetic care nurse for the past 18 years. And what I have seen very prominent is that people do not take care of their feet. Simple things. I see ingrown toenails, I see corns, I see calluses, I see web spaces, which is in between your feet, all full of hard debris sitting there, looks like rock sometimes. Sometimes I'm taking out some stuff from people's feet and you think I'm digging the dirt, how hard it is. So it's really important that as a person, we look at our feet on a daily basis. I cannot stress that enough.
But
it is so important.
Sometimes I know as we get older, especially for, you know, older people who are probably frail or who are probably for people who are obese, it's difficult to bend over and see your toes. Is that probably one of the reasons?
That is one of the big reasons, Janet. You are right. But you do not have to bend over, folks. You can use a chair and put your foot on that chair, which will give you close access to your feet. On that chair, you will be able to take a towel, make sure that you are drying between your toes properly. Important thing to do. Simple but important. Reason why fluid, water gets built up. You walk around, you sweat, build up water. You get out of the shower, you don't dry it properly. And so fungus and bacteria likes moist.
Yes.
So they will go in there and they will start to grow. So number one, dry your feet properly.
And then
sounds like you're talking about a kitchen garden here.
You dry your feet and you moisturize. Do you put lotion on after? But do you put lotion in between your toes?
You do, but it is so important that you do not lather between your toes with too much lotion because that will create a moist area. And so again, you've just dried it because you just got out of the shower or you just wash your feet. You have just dried. It's important that you take your time, dry between those toes, go around the nail bed, make sure it is dry, and you put a moderate amount of lotion. You don't want to lather it too much.
Okay. So
okay, let me go ahead.
Okay. One of you mentioned it already, ingrown toenails. Yeah. That is one of the areas that I think if you were to ask 100 people with foot problems, that's probably the number one. I don't know if that's number one or foot fungus, toe fungus. I don't know where they range. But tell us about the ingrown foot toenails and how you treat that, how you deal with it, what we should be doing in terms of after our feet.
It's very common. It's very common to have an ingrown nail. Reason being, as you age, your feet evert. So it turns inward or outward, either eversion or inversion. And because of how your feet are, then you are most likely to have your toes coming together. So your toes are webbed together. We call them webbed toes. Or you have hammer toes. So your toes are now on top of your toes. And because of the aging process, your muscles in your feet are now even decreased. On top of that, you have decreased sensation. So food and oxygen is not getting to those toes. The nails become ingrown because of how it is positioned in your shoes. And talking about shoes, it is of utmost importance that you wear the right shoes.
Right. We had a question about that, so I'm glad you came to it. So go ahead and tell us about the kind of shoe. But before you move away from that, you mentioned the inversions. Are you talking about like when your feet turn, like you can see like bunions? Is that a part of the inversion?
Yeah, correct.
So how do we help that?
All right, simple, Janet. Very simple. Your feet turns inwards. So your toes will be turning towards the side of your shoe instead of the front of your shoe.
Right.
You have to correct that. It's very simple. You can go see a foot specialist. He will provide you with the right footwear and something called an orthotic. It's an insole. It's a piece of equipment or a piece of process that you put into your shoe. Do you know like how you have insoles that you put in if your shoe's a little bit big?
Yes.
Well, this orthotic is specifically made for you.
But guess what? I know, I understand. For women, I'm going to give myself as an example. When you think of orthotics, you're thinking of ugly shoes. I remember I went to my doctor and he said, when it was beginning, because my foot, I can see the beginning of the inversion. It's also in my family, it's hereditary. My son have it, I have it, my dad had it, my uncle had it, my aunt have it. Everybody has this inverted, most of us anyway. And you know what the doctor said to me? He said, stop wearing pretty shoes, like stilettos. I don't want to stop wearing my stilettos.
You have to, because
go barefoot.
Barefoot.
Or ugly shoes.
You see, what's been misconstrued in our population is, especially with us women, we want the fancy shoes. Yes. Look at the fancy shoes. The fancy shoes has what we call a narrow toe box. All of the fancy shoes, they're pointed, correct?
Yes.
They're pointed. So right away, you're cutting off the space on your feet.
The circulation.
You choose with a wide toe box. So you need to get the correct shoes. And I kid you not, I've seen my foot specialist just 2 weeks ago, and you don't want to see the pretty shoes that I'm getting. The important thing is that the shoes are made, the orthotics are made specifically for your feet. So you can take that insole and you can put them in any shoe that you've got. But the important thing is that you stay away from those stilettos, those fancy pointy shoes, and you give your feet the air so that it can circulate and you can breathe.
In defense of women who are not going to lose the stilettos, this is what I do, Ingrid. I'm going to a party and you want to look, the sexy look with the, every woman out there listening who likes, not every woman, but women who like the high heels, the pumps, and who think they look really great. They make your legs look whatever. Anyway, what I do is I wear them, but when the evening, if let's say it's a dance, as soon as the dancing starts, those are gone and my sandals are on and I'm good for the rest of the night. So I think there's a way to do both, right?
Great thing to do. As long as you're not sitting in those heels like the office girls that sit them for 8 hours, they're killing their toes. Their toes are dying. So by the time they get home, they're extremely tired. They don't even have the time to look at their feet because their feet was under pressure for 8 hours. It has created sweat. So you've got sweat between the toes, you've got the toes coming together, and you have pain. So instead of you looking at those feet, you retire to bed. By next morning, you have a corn coming up on the side of your toe.
Yeah.
I want to get back to the ingrown toenails, because it seems as though what we've been describing is situation primarily among among seniors or people that may have a condition of obesity. But if that happens, and I suspect it's happening among younger people as well, when that happens, what are the recommended treatment options that you may have for someone that's experiencing that?
It happens for everybody, Fred. Does not have an age limit on it.
Okay.
So the good thing to do will be to try there is a special way that you will cut the nail that is ingrown. So you're cutting at an angle. You'll be cutting at a 90-degree angle. So in other words, you're cutting sideways. That's right. You're cutting down towards the flesh of your toe. But very important is that you do not cut that nail too short. So a good thing to do will be to just take like a black file, lift up that nail that is burying into your flesh, and just clip it right there on an angle. Once you clip it on the angle, you will redirect the blood flow or the growth of the nail. Once you redirect the growth of the nail will now grow forward as opposed to growing inward into your flesh. Some people cannot get to it because of their age. So I would suggest that you find Ingrid or another specialist out there, or there are chiropodists that you can use, that you go out there and get your feet treated. Because
how often should we do that?
I'll tell you before you answer that. I'll tell you what I did when I was much younger and I was in the military. Ingrown toenails is something that I suffered with a lot.
Soldiers must have terrible feet.
And I never knew what to do. I would go to the medic and I had my nails removed twice. It's a terrible, painful situation. It wasn't until I came to Canada and I met a friend and I told him, you know, what I was suffering with. And he said, man, that's easy. What he did, he would soak his feet and he get a razor blade and just scrape at the side of the toe where the nail isn't growing. And that thins out the nail and then it raises up. And I've been doing that for years. Every time I have that situation, and it just redirect the growth of the nail. Never had the problem again.
Absolutely. It works. Once you have redirected the nail, it works. And talking about soaking really helps. Common solution: 3 parts of water, 1 part of vinegar. So you will pour 3 cups of water and just 1 cup of vinegar into a pan or a basin that you can soak your feet in. You soak your foot for 30 minutes, you take it out and you dry it. Dry your foot properly. And then raise that nail up and just clip it. Once you raise the nail up and clip it, you will be perfect. The nail will reroot itself. The nail will reroot itself.
Okay, you know what, Ingrid? We're going to try and speed it up a little bit because we have so many things
to cover.
Yes. So fungus, toe fungus, which looks so horrible, and which I have heard that what was the statistics? I think 10% of people worldwide have some kind of a toe fungus, right?
Yes.
But it looks terrible, but it can also have some consequences for overall health. Yeah. But what I would like you to tell us about is, how do we treat, I don't know if there is anything perfect for foot fungus, but what can you help us with when it comes to that?
There is a simple treatment that anyone can use, not rocket science. Again, vinegar and water. The vinegar you have in your kitchen cupboard, white vinegar, or you can use apple cider vinegar. Vinegar in warm water. You do it every single night religiously for 6 weeks. Your toe fungus will be gone.
Are you serious?
Wow.
I'm serious. I kid not.
What about tea tree oil?
Tea tree oil is correct also. Another great remedy. After you soak in your vinegar, take your foot out of that basin, dry it properly, and apply some tea tree oil. But I have to warn you, especially the ladies, tea tree oil will stain your bed linen. And you will not be able to get the stain out. So the important thing to do will be to dry your feet, put the tea tree oil on, and put a sock on. Put a sock on and go to bed. And
but
tomorrow,
then won't the sock make it so moist again?
No, not overnight. You're just putting it
overnight. Okay.
Then tomorrow you wake up, you go about your business. In the evening, before you go to bed, you do another soak, dry your feet.
6 weeks.
Oil socks, 6 weeks. Fungus is gone. Fungus is not only ugly, it smells. It stinks. It stinks.
You know what? I see people at the pool, and I'm always like, I go swimming.
They defy the signs of bathing before going into the pool.
Not just that, I see them barefoot. In the pool that so many people are using instead of with sandals. What do you say to those people? Is that a prerequisite, or because the pool is relatively clean, is that okay, or is it not okay to do that?
It is okay, and it is not okay. Tell you why. It is okay that I am wearing my sandals or my shoe, my shoe for the pool, my pool shoe, because I want to protect my feet from everybody else's feet in the pool. But it's not okay for me that's not wearing anything, and you coming into the pool with your stinky feet. Of course, the chlorine will take care of the fungus.
But that's not what I meant, you know. What I meant was I don't like to see people in the pool with the pool shoes, honestly, because I figure the water in there, the chlorine and what they use will take care of all that. What I was thinking of was the shower stalls. I should have made that clear. In the shower, where you see people just with barefoot. I mean, it doesn't affect somebody else, but it's for them. I just think it's so unhygienic.
It is very unhygienic. And there are a lot of our friends sitting in that shower stall, waiting to get into your, especially if you have an open area. Especially if you just have a little crack in your toe. My boy is waiting in that fungus to just jump into that crack and infect your toe. And before you know it, you have toes that might have to be amputated. And talking about that, I need to address the diabetics.
That is exactly what's going to be our next question.
So before you go there, I want to ask a question. How frequently should people have their feet examined for fungal infections and stuff like that?
You would want to examine your feet every day. But we don't get to do it, so I put it down to at least 3 times. But every day, it doesn't take long. You get up in the morning, especially if you have medical issues, you have circulatory problems, you're diabetic, you have kidney failure. You want to look at those feet every day, because overnight, things develop quickly, especially in the diabetic foot.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take some emails, because we always ask. I'm pretty sure we probably have quite a few. And then we'll come back and we'll focus on the diabetic foot care.
Perfect.
Right?
Okay, you want to read the email? Want to go there? Okay. Excuse me. Let me read from, let's go to Sue. And Sue says, hey, go ahead.
Hey, Coxes, taking care of your feet is very important, especially if you're a diabetic. Good talk on Sunday. Looking forward to it. This one came in
This one came in before.
And I hope
Okay.
she's listening right now because we're just about to get into it.
Right.
And the next one
Kelly.
is from Kelly, who says, hey, foot care is very important. And so many people ignore foot problems. And you have said that, Ingrid. So thanks for sharing. Yeah, go ahead.
And Steve says, hello, Coxes. Good topic. Foot message is, foot message rather, is amazing.
So is foot massage, by the way, right? Freudian slip.
We should all get one, right? You know what? Maybe that's what he meant.
Oh,
right?
Guess what? And he says, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day to you.
Oh, we never even mentioned that. That's right. March.
Yeah, it's
March
Patty's Day.
It is. We'll go out afterwards and we'll celebrate, and we'll make sure we have a beer from Ireland.
A green beer. A green beer. And Brett says, hi, Coxes. Here is an amazing joke for you. And he sent us an image. And this image is a bottle of jam, and it's called toe jam. All natural toe jam.
From where is that from?
And where is this from? This is from, it doesn't say, no.
Okay.
It's tangerine, orange, and elderberry.
Yeah, toe jam.
Toe jam. Okay, and Rita says, what can a diabetic do for their feet? Thank you for this show today.
So let's go back, Ingrid, and go right into the whole.
You want to read this one first? Okay, we'll come back to that.
About diabetes, because when you're diabetic, foot care becomes even more important. Correct? And
correct.
I do believe, is that because I was listening to, or I don't remember what exact video I was listening to, but the doctor was explaining that the blood, from the extremities, the parts of the body that are furthest away from the heart,
correct,
they have problems. So our extremities, like our feet and hands, especially the feet, the toes being so far away, less circulation. Right. And they were talking about, what is it? I'm pretty sure you're probably not a familiar word for me, but for you, the neuropathy, the
diabetic.
Yes, the peripheral neuropathy with diabetes. So could you go into the whole world of diabetes and foot care for us?
Absolutely. That is just a big name, diabetic retinopathy, for the patient that has diabetes, who, because of decrease of the insulin production, will have numbness. And they will not be able to feel what's happening in their feet. So they will step on a pebble and not even know what that they're stepping, or they step on a pin and not even know that they've just stepped on something very hard. Because of the decrease of insulin, you have decreased insulin production, so decreased blood flow is happening to those feet. So for the diabetic person, you want to make sure that you are looking at those feet every day, because tell you what,
makes sense.
You will not feel it. You will not feel it because of the nerve endings in your extremities. They have died. Most of them have died. So you will feel it. You will feel numbness, and you will feel tingling, and you might also have a little bit of swelling in the feet. So diabetes, important. Make sure that you are examining those feet every day.
So is that, we talk about the insulin, is that because of the blood sugar in the increased glucose in the blood? Is that what you're talking about? That leads to, what is that? Hyperglycemia? Is that the whole thing? Right?
Janet, are you sure you're not in the medical field? Now you sound like a doctor.
I've taught her well.
Well, Ingrid, honestly, we've been doing the health show for so long now.
Some things just come natural for you to ask that question.
So.
And you have explained it well. Because of the decrease of insulin, you will have an increase or a high level of sugar. And so that will take you, because the sugars are overloading, it will send the neurons, your nerve cells will get affected. So it will slow down the transport of oxygen. And also, you will not be getting a lot of food and nourishment to those feet. And those feet they're tired. Don't forget.
Yeah.
They're also
Okay.
Yeah. So the messaging system is not functioning properly. So, you know, because of that, you're not getting the circulation. If you're not getting the circulation, then numbness steps in,
Yeah.
and you're
That's
not aware. That,
And then
so
the
that's
bacteria
basically
and the infections and the everything.
Now, let's when it comes to blisters, calluses, or
But
corns.
are you finished with the diabetes?
yes,
What
yes.
you are? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about calluses and blisters, because a lot of people have them on their feet, corns, and you know, and stuff like that. What should be done to prevent these things from happening? What kind of professional intervention should take place?
Do you know what caused corns? Do you know why people get corns?
Tight
No.
shoes, tight shoes.
Absolutely. Number one, tight shoes. Make sure you have room in your toe box.
Ah,
You're not wearing tight shoes, but make sure also you're not wearing loose shoes, because the friction in the loose shoes will create a blister for you. The tight shoes will give you a corn. The callus is the extension of a corn.
okay.
So you want to make sure that you are wearing the correct shoe.
Is barefoot better than any shoe whatsoever?
Of course.
Where do you stand on going bare feet?
Yes, no, don't go bare feet. Don't go bare feet, but make sure you have on the right shoes. The calluses and the corns you can prevent. Blisters happen again because of pressure. There is pressure between the toes, pressure against your toe box, so inside of your shoe, against your foot. And so it will create a friction, and the friction will give you a blister. And that is why sometimes these things happen in the day, but then overnight while you're sleeping, that's when they manifest. So when you went to bed tonight, you might not see a blister, but tomorrow morning, there will be a blister.
Wow. Okay, I did see, I learned that. That's something new. But let's take a pause here, Ingrid, and could you tell us, for the people who are local and who would like to use your service, how do we reach you? What's your phone number, email, website?
Absolutely. My phone number is 647 297 2013.
Okay.
Email address is comfortfeet@gmail.com. So comfort is one word, inc@gmail.com is the email that you can get me. Of course, the name of my business is Comfort Feet Incorporation. Okay. Because I wanted to keep your feet comfortable, that's why I named the company Comfort Feet. And I anytime, 24/7, someone will return your call. And I work in the community. I work in the long-term care home. I will come to your facility and I will do your feet. And once I get your feet up to maintenance, then you don't see me every 6 weeks. You see me every 2 months or every 3 months.
Okay. Now you mentioned something. Thank you for sharing that. And we'll do it again at the end. You mentioned something about bare feet. We have seen, Frederick, remember we saw that guy on the road?
Yeah,
it was cold. It was cold,
very cold.
He was barefoot.
Yeah.
So there's something about the feet and running.
I think
barefoot.
I think it's just being in touch with nature. That's basically what it is. Every once in a while, I think you should be able to walk barefoot. Because it's good to reconnect with nature, but doing it on a regular basis.
I love barefoot in my house. I love barefoot on a beach.
No, but barefoot
like a beach in Jamaica on the sand, barefoot is king.
No, but in your yard, you know,
here.
Try to walk barefoot, not in the winter, but you know, spring or in the summer. At some point in time, try to be in touch with nature.
But not if you're diabetic, correct?
No, if you're diabetic, I think it's better.
I don't know. Can you?
That's my opinion.
I have to tell you that after I came to Canada in 1990, and I went home the following year, and neighbors hailed out to me, "Oh, Ingrid, you're home. Oh, Ingrid, you're home." I was so excited. I ran down the stairs and I ran into the front yard. And our front yard is concrete, it's paved. And I ran out in the front yard just to hug my neighbors because I was so excited to see them. By the next day, I had blisters all over the soles of my feet.
Yes, I see.
Understand why. I was like, why is this happening to my feet? And then I realized that, you know what? For the past, that had only been 11 months I was away from Guyana, but my feet were in sock and shoe or stock every day.
Yes.
So
yes.
exercise. And then I went back after 11 months and I wanted to think that it was okay. It was not okay.
I know. You're walking as if you're walking.
Readjust it, yeah.
You're walking on pebbles.
Yes,
You're walking.
even at the beach, when we go down to the beach, my little Maya, she's 4, and she's up and down on those pebbles, back and forth on Maxwell, and no problem for the little kids. I try to do that. Honest to goodness, you feel as if you're walking on nails because it becomes so tender, right?
And also, Janet, you have to remember, because of the aging process, because you are older, what happens is you are going to have decreased circulation. So as you're older, it will take longer for nutrients and oxygen to get to your feet than your grandkids. They're young. Everything is going good for them. With the elderly, or as you age, processes are decreased. So things take slower. It happens slower. It takes longer.
Let me go. I want to touch on someone that's very active. Like, for example, an athlete who's very, very active, or individuals who are involved in high impact sports, physical activities. How does foot care differ for those individuals compared to us who are not in the same league?
Okay, for those individuals, because they're so active, a massage, a foot soak in the evening will work wonders for them.
Okay.
Now, because of our technology now, we used to know a massage used to be warm, but now you're having the hyperbaric therapy where you have the cold. So you have cool massages. Oh, is it ever heavenly? Folks, if you're listening, I am telling you, pamper yourself, have that foot massage. So the athletes, I believe they have it done at least 5 out of 7 days a week.
Wow.
Really?
Because
I could imagine, like those hockey players, right?
Yeah, on their feet.
Right.
They're on their feet. And remember that they're putting pressure. They're putting extra pressure to their on the soles of their feet. And so those cells need to be rejuvenated. So a nice warm massage or a cool massage will give the cells their life back.
What did you call it? You said hyperbaric. Is that the same as cryotherapy? That's the same thing for foot pain?
Cryotherapy, same names.
What about
it's the cooling. So what the cooling does is that just like the warmth, it will get the circulation going in your feet. So when circulation is going, it means blood flow is happening at a normal, regular pace.
Yes.
And as blood flow is happening, oxygen and food is getting to your extremities, to the tips of your toes.
Right.
So your feet are being nourished.
Now, can you imagine, Ingrid, back in the day, culturally, let's go back to ancient China. Can you imagine what would happen to those women? Remember, Frederick, we know they used to wrap their feet because small feet was a big thing, right?
Yes.
Can you, as a nurse, knowing what you know, what would those women have been experiencing? Excruciating pain? I think get used to it.
I'm thinking it would be. I'm thinking they must have gotten accustomed to the pain.
Yeah, over a period of time, and it was rough for days, you know.
exactly. I cannot imagine you wrapping your feet so tightly over all these days, but according to studies have shown that they got relief.
Really? Okay.
I do not know. I do not know.
Okay.
But from a medical standpoint, I will say no.
Yeah.
Because you are killing your circulation, you're killing your cells,
Absolutely.
you're doing everything that's crazy for your feet. And you protect your feet because they're your pillars that carry you around. So
what
you
about
want
what about reflexology? What's your take on that?
absolutely. I recommend it. I recommend.
What's the difference with reflexology and just going for a massage?
It's the same thing actually. But reflexology, it targets the pressure points, whereas the masseuse will target your pressure points, but not as deeply. Not as deeply. The reflexologists go in deeply, like deep into your target areas, the certain areas of the soles of your feet.
Okay.
Whereas the masseuse will give you the foot massage. She will focus on your toes, the soles, and the arch of your feet.
But
that's another. Sorry, Frederick.
You also have some cultures that would use fish. Right.
Right. That's a thing.
Yeah.
The fish pedicure. Have you heard about that?
That sounds very stimulating to me. You know.
I heard about the fish pedicure, however.
Oh boy, not at your local spa for sure.
Yeah.
I do not know if it's something I would want to try.
They just nibble away at the dead skin, right?
Yeah. Yes, but you know,
piranha probably as fuel.
Piranha, no way. No way. You come back without toes.
So we'll send Frederick for a piranha
pedicure, fish pedicure, piranha fish
pedicure, right? And poor slaves, remember the days when you had the runaway slaves? What would they do? They would chop off their feet. Oh my goodness! Like
I'm telling you,
the
my
cruelty,
amazing. Out.
And sorry, we're losing you, Ingrid.
My heart goes out for them.
Yes, for that kind of thing. Now there's virtual reality, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And folks, you don't have to spend much. You don't have to go to the spa to look after your feet. You can do it yourself. You can have your significant other do it. You do it for your wife does it for the husband, your sister, you do it for your brother does it for the sister. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You soak your feet in some warm salt water, let it sit there. They are the foot spas that I recommend, warm or cold. You can use that. Dr. Shaw's, they sell a great brand. And you just plug it in, put in your nice little bit of salt, and you soak your feet, put on your bubbles, you roll your feet, massage your feet. A foot roller, very simple thing. It works so well, guys. You do not have to spend a lot.
What do you mean a foot roller? Like the one you put your foot and just hit the ball underneath?
The ball of your feet, yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And what that roller does is that it aids in your circulation.
So it's all about circulation, basically.
It's all about circulation. Yeah. It's all about circulation because you want your feet to have the correct blood flow.
Okay. You know what? I was listening to something and the person was saying things like going into meditation. It sounds far-fetched. It sounds far-fetched, but is it far-fetched? Does meditation and, with the parasympathetic, what do you call it? Parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
As well as the sympathetic nervous system. That's what he was trying to explain, that because the parasympathetic nervous system helps you to relax. And that's the one that builds your immunity.
Correct.
Those are the kind of things that the meditation will help to boost.
Yeah, because what you're doing in meditation is that you are attracting a certain energy wavelength that comes into the body and it goes towards those areas that needs healing. So it will do some help. So it's all a transfer of energy from whatever source you're getting it from.
Right.
Yes.
You were
You
going to say?
correct. You are absolutely correct. It does not hurt for you to take some quiet time. 20 minutes a day. You just set aside that time. You find a quiet place and meditate. And that energy, believe it or not, it will go to the areas that need the healing. So you will come out of that session feeling refreshed and energized and rejuvenated because you have just healed your body just by meditation.
Great, great, great. Now, time is going very quickly. We have a few other emails, just a couple. We'll go through them really fast.
Go
Okay.
right.
This one is from Ray, and Ray sends us an image of green feet. That is really celebrating St. Patty's Day. Thank you for those green-looking feet. And somebody's asking a question. I'm certain we did touch on it.
Yeah,
the treatment on.
What was it from? Let's see.
This is from Howie, I think. Yeah. It says nail fungus treatment.
So what we're going to say to Howie is go back and listen because we're out of time. We won't ask Ingrid to repeat it, but she did talk. She gave you a fantastic and easy remedy, 6-week remedy for nail fungus. Ingrid, you're guaranteeing this works, or does it depend on the stage?
I guarantee. I can go onto my website and I can show you before and after.
And it doesn't matter how bad it is?
It don't matter how bad it is, no matter how ugly it looks, no matter how stink it smells. So water and vinegar and then your tea tree oil, I am guarantee you it will work.
All right. Well, if we've learned nothing else, we've learned that we have to take care of our feet and not ignore them.
And dry them properly after each bath or shower.
Frederick, if you had to a choice, yeah, I know you're going to come up with something probably nonsensical.
Don't ask the question. Don't ask.
If you had to lose your feet or your hands, which would you? Nobody would rather lose any of them.
None of them.
But if I
had a choice,
if you were forced to, lose hands or feet, which way would you go?
One hand and one foot.
What about you, Ingrid?
One hand and one foot.
Hands or feet? How would you choose?
I would not want to lose my feet because my feet are my pillars. And my feet, if I do not have my feet, I will have to depend on a chair to carry me around.
Yeah.
But I will go with Fred. I will lose the one foot and the one hand.
Yeah.
Or better yet, none at all, right?
None at all. But if there's a choice, one and one.
But it's amazing, Ingrid. I'll end with this and then I will get Frederick to thank you and we'll give out your info again. I remember seeing, I think it's one of the TikTok or WhatsApp, the videos. And there are these people that have lost their hands. They were born without hands. And they can use their feet to eat, to write, to draw, to type, to answer the phone. They use their feet to do everything that their hands could do.
Drive. They use their feet to drive.
To drive. It's amazing.
You do not want to lose your feet.
Right.
You want
to take care of them.
You want to make sure you're examining them. You want to make sure that you visit your doctor if you see anything different from your normal feet and you want to do it fast. Don't wait, guys. Do not wait. Get to your doctor. You see, you have this looks like a corn, but I don't know. I'm not feeling any pain. Make sure you seek medical help.
I know one
because you do not want sorry.
I know one person, my girlfriend's husband, he actually died from diabetic complication of the toe. He had to get it, eventually had to get it amputated, and then it just got so bad and he didn't survive.
Yes, so and that is unfortunate. That is so unfortunate.
Well, that we're literally out of time.
It goes so fast. I told you.
You've been listening to the Liquid Green Health Show, and our guest today is Guyanese Born Ingrid Bollers, a registered nurse with over 40 years of experience, and she has really took us through the journey of proper foot care And I really would like to say thank you. Ingrid could be reached at, I'll give you her number, 647-297-2013. That's 647-297-2013. Or you can write her by email, comfortfeetinc@gmail.com. That's comfortfeetinc@gmail.com.
And Ingrid, I want to say congratulations. I'm telling the entire North America and the world that you recently retired. And we are hoping, I know you're on missions. Tell us in a heartbeat, where are you going? You're going to Haiti and you're going to, where else are you going on these missions?
Barbados, Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago, you name it, I'll be there. Great. And you know, I love what I do, but retiring does not mean that I will not be in sync with my community, my people, and doing what I love. I will continue, and I will be nursing until I die. Until the breath leaves my body,
Once
I will
nurse,
be
always a nurse.
Always
a nurse.
Yes. Always a nurse. And for sure. Go ahead.
Thank you, Fred, for having me on, and I really sincerely hope that I've left a little bit of nugget with you. And what I want to say is that make sure you take care of your feet, because you want your pillars to carry you around until you lay in that square ball.
Right. Well, you know what? I know you're retired, but I'm going to make my appointment not this week, next week. All right. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And for sure, there are a lot of feet where she's going. So there's a lot of happy feet there.
That's going to need help.
And that brings us to the end. That brings us to the end of our show, folks. It really has been a wonderful, wonderful conversation with our guest, Ingrid Bollers. And thank you, Ingrid, for that insight on how to take care of what we came into this world with, our 2 feet and 10 toes. Right. Okay. With that,
thank you for my pleasure.
You're welcome. With that, folks, we would like to remind you to visit the liquidgreenproducts.com to look into our green cleaning products that we have at liquidgreenproducts.com. Please feel free to check it out. And that's it.
Yes,
got anything else you want to say?
For Liquid Green, somebody says, why aren't you folks talking more about your products? So we have an ad, and we have a couple of ads now that we've done. Thanks to Gary, one of our producers, for helping us produce an ad recently. It's a long one, but it's our show. So every week, starting next week, you're going to hear a little nugget about Liquid Green. All right?
Okay, with that said, we're going to end our show with our usual quote. Good health is at the core of human joy and overall well-being. Its influence is profound, extending beyond personal vitality to significantly bolstering prosperity and economic advancement. Thus, investing in your health is akin to investing in a brighter, more prosperous future for ourselves and the communities we inhabit. Until next Sunday, same time, same station, prioritize your health, please. That is number 1, and it should always be number 1. This is Janet and Fred saying, let's stay healthy on Reality Radio 101.
Thank you for listening to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts, Fred and Janet Cox, right here on Reality Radio 101.